The past few days around here have been gloomy and rainy, and it's really put me in the mood for soup. However, when I went grocery shopping last week, it was sunny and hot, and soup was the last thing on my mind. So I really didn't buy ingredients to make soup. But the good thing about soup is that you can make it from almost anything you have in your house. It's actually a great way to clean out your fridge. I started this morning by pulling out some ground chicken that I had in my fridge that I had bought for a different dish. However, life happened, things came up, and I never got around to making it. But this ground chicken needed to be used up or frozen soon. So I went ahead and browned it up this morning with some onion powder, garlic and herb seasoning, salt and pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in my crock pot right now. And then I have the broth that I pulled from my freezer. I made this broth from scraps, and I made a previous video on how I did that. So we're going to add that broth to the crock pot. And then I happen to have a half of red onion and a half of white onion in my fridge that needed to be used up. So I diced both of those this morning. And that also is getting tossed into the crock pot. And then I had some little potatoes, a bag of little potatoes. So I washed and cut some of those up this morning. So we'll add all of those in. Crock pot's already getting full. And I happened to have about a quarter of a head of cabbage left over. So I cut that up. We're gonna put that here in the crock pot. And then I had some mini carrots, some little baby carrots that needed to be used up. So I cut those up and we're gonna add those in. Additionally, I have a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. That'll add some really great flavor to the soup. And even a can of spicy V8 juice. Now, considering how much broth and vegetables are in there, it won't be like overly spicy. It'll just add some good flavor to the soup. And then I have a can of cannellini beans that I've already rinsed and drained. Toss that on top. And finally, I have a little bit of leftover frozen corn that I'm open for a different use. So we'll go ahead and add the rest of that corn directly into the crock pot. And then we'll add a little bit of more onion powder, garlic powder, and my favorite, McCormick's roasted garlic and herb seasoning. I use this in a lot of different dishes I do. I like to be very, very generous with it. And of course, some salt and pepper. Really got this crock pot almost overly full. And as I said, my very, very, very full crock pot. Give it a good stir. And give the broth a taste. See if we need any more seasonings. Not too bad. We'll go ahead, put the cover on that. And by this evening, we'll have some good vegetable soup to enjoy. I'm Bonnie Barnes with Cisco Realty, helping you find home and feel at home in the greater Grand Lake area.